Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. So I'd like to start this video out by saying first, shout out to Mr. A and the Predictor Wars. That's a dope concept. And yeah, so once again, for another week, shout out to the Predictor Wars. I don't think the videos are popping as much as they should be on his channel, but y'all should check that out. It's a really dope concept on there. And I'm also, if you're a fan of me or you like my content, you should go check his content out, because I'm doing well on that competition right now. So you should tune in and just see like pretty much how I rank up with the other predictors in the community. So you can see like how I stack up versus the best of the best, or at least some of the best of the best. But yeah, now on to the prediction. So in this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC 248, Adesanya versus Romero. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card in our first prelim fight. So in our first fight, we have in the featherweight division, Emmers versus Chikadze. So this was like a late minute replacement. I think Emmers was supposed to fight Movsar Evelev at first, and now like Chikadze jumping on last notice. I don't think it really affects Chikadze too much because he was a kickboxer and a pretty solid one at that before, and they fight all the time in short notice and fight like 3 times in one night very often. So just jumping in on that one fight notice, like on a short notice, should not be no big issue for him. But how I see this fight right here, I think Chikadze could definitely give Emmers some work on the feet. He could destroy Emmers on the feet. Emmers has a lot of flaws with his striking. Like he had a lot of flow to strike. He's very creative with his striking, but defensively, he's not the most sound. He drops his hands very low a lot of times, chin be up. And a high level striker like Chikadze could catch him with like a check hook, catch him with like a kick right up there because his hand's not up. So if he's backing up his hand straight down, he get caught with a head kick. But all that being said, I'm going to lean to Emmers in this one. I think Chikadze has a very good shot of winning this one, but I'm going to kind of lean to the smarter pick, the more well-rounded fighter between these two, because still, like, we don't really know too much about Chikadze as far as his MMA goes right now. We still need more tape on him. And Emmers, we have tape on him. And yes, he has flaws on the feet, but he also is the much more well-rounded fighter. I think he's a little bit more diverse than, what's his name, last opponent was, or like Brandon Davis was. So he a little bit longer, a little bit more diverse than Brandon Davis was. Maybe not as good as of jiu-jitsu as Brandon Davis has, but I think he's able to at least mix up on the feet more with Chikadze, and also be a little bit more, give Chikadze more looks. And I think he also mix it up on the ground with Chikadze. I think Chikadze's ground game still needs a lot of work. Maybe he went to like city kickboxing and got that kind of training, and how good they are at, dealing with wrestling and counter wrestling. Well, not counter wrestling, but like neutralizing wrestling. And a lot of strikers are in that gym. I think that would be a good fit for him. But as he is right now, and I think in the last fight against Davis was pretty much dominating the fight every time he hit the ground. And I think Emmers could do the same and not have as much, take as much damage on the feet. So I think Emmers can mix it up on the ground, mix it up on the feet. And this has more places to take the fight. And I think a highly competitive fight, but I think Emmers, being the more well-rounded fighter and getting those takedowns and having doing the damage on the ground and having that control time is going to make it edge the fight for him. So competitive fight, but I think Emmers is able to edge it just off the ground control and the time down there, and also probably land some good ground and pound, maybe going for some good submission attempts. But I think Chikadze's game, and we'll be able to survive the submission attempts, and we'll be able to like fend them off. But I think it's still going to affect him on the scorecards, and that's why Emmers is going to win. So in this fight, I got Emmers via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division. We have Dana Batgerel or something versus Cannetti. So this fight right here, to be straight up, I look at Batgerel Dana. I didn't really see nothing all that phenomenal about him, and like his striking looks about average. He does put up a lot of, he does have a high output or semi-high output. He will work in there. He'll throw a lot of strikes, land a lot of strikes, but not the most power, not the most crazy technique. He's about really average. Matter of fact, I don't think his grappling is even high. I think he's really just an average fighter. Nothing special about him. Is it right now? I don't see no real potential for no like huge jump in skills. Right now, it seems like some guy that just like has so much latent talent. I think over the period of time just being in the game, he could get improved. I don't see like him as no special talent that's going to just explode in talent in just one fight from the next. We probably like 5 fights. He's not. I don't see no super phenom or no superstar out of him just yet. Then they go against Cannetti. I see Cannetti in his last fight, or at least just overall Cannetti, just has fought the more higher level competition. Has been in UFC for a minute. It was on the Ultimate Fighter, I think the Latin America edition or something like that, or one of those seasons. I see him as a more well-rounded fighter, pack more power in the strikes. Maybe not as like much volume as Batgerel, but more power, more angles, more effective with his striking. And he also been fighting higher level competition. So obviously your work rate and your success is going to drop as you fight higher level competition. So his isn't as high, or maybe this Batgerel just has a higher work rate in general, but still. And also, outside of that, Cannetti is the better grappler in my opinion. I see him been able to take down and deal with a lot of higher level competition fighters and even get decisions off his grappling. Even in his last fight, which he was a loss to Marlon Vera, he won the first round clear against Marlon Vera, who's one of the top fighters in this weight class. He was able to hurt him, like tag him on the feet. I don't know if he necessarily hurt him, but he was able to make him feel his power on the feet. Was able to take him down twice in that round and had some good control on Vera in that first round. So Guido Cannetti is no joke. Only thing I worry about with Cannetti is that he's 40 years old. Yes, he kind of get in the game late and people don't really know what he's bringing or what he can improve on, but 40 is still 40, so you got to worry about that. But as far as Batgerel Dana, I just don't see nothing spectacular from him yet, and I just feel like Cannetti just overall the more solid fighter and should be able to mix it up. If it's not going his way on the feet, I think he shouldn't have too much issue getting the fight to the ground. And I think on the feet, he can hold his own. So I just think like just being more well-rounded and more experienced fighter is going to be enough for him to get the decision in this fight. So in this fight, I have Guido Cannetti via decision. Now on to our next fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, Emily Whitmire versus Polyana Viana. So looking at this fight, this is another fight where I see one fight is being more well-rounded, even though it shouldn't be that case. Like Polyana Viana, she's that chick known for beating up that mugger, beating up that guy who was trying to rob her or harass her or whatnot in Brazil, that Brazilian chick. But as far as MMA, she's been struggling to beat up women. She had like one win in her debut, and then she's like on a 3 or 4 fight losing streak. And really, like when I look at the stats, like on the fight match stats, and when I compare it to the fight I actually watched of her, it makes it seem like her fights were much more competitive than they were, or may look like they would have split decisions or this or that. But when I watch the fights, like she just kind of be lacking. Like I see her getting tagged with shots she shouldn't be getting tagged with. I see her making questionable decisions out there. I see her on her back looking helpless in fights as the clock winds down. I still haven't really seen the best stuff from her. I just haven't really been liking what I've seen from her. But stat-wise, if we're going off stats, it seems like every fight she's been in, she is basically outstrucking her opponents. But she's pretty much lost the fight. She won her first fight, and every other fight, like as far as strike total, she outstruck every opponent she had for it. But after watching fights, don't look like they were that competitive. And like, I don't know, seeing her getting tagged and just looking lost out there and just looking like, yeah. And also they said she never been taken out. I guess she kind of got her swept to the ground. She did get like 1 or 2 takedowns in some of these fights, but yeah, I was overall I was not impressed with her. I think as far as Emily Whitmire, I think Viana can probably have some more success on the feet, and I wouldn't even guarantee her to be the better striker between the two, but I feel like she could put more strikes out there, put more output out there on the feet against Whitmire. But I think Whitmire has this really her whole career in the UFC so far. She's been fighting grapplers, and she's came out positive against grapplers, like solid grapplers, not just some anybody grapplers, but some solid grapplers. And she's came out positive. Yes, a couple times she fought went against some real stud grapplers, and they dominated her. But she's also fought some solid grapplers and put on a pretty good work against some solid grapplers and got victories. Whereas Viana, she really been fighting a lot of strikers for the most part, just average MMA fighters that really don't have a pure focus, and she hasn't been able to win. I think Whitmire can put her on her back. I think Viana doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu off her back, and I think she can dominate her in that aspect. Will she get a finish? I don't know, but I think if Whitmire can get her to the ground consistently, she can have a relatively clean-cut performance. But, you know, at this level, it's not going to be that clean, but I think it's going to be clear enough that Emily Whitmire is winning the grappling exchanges, and I see her getting a decision. So, in this fight, I have Emily Whitmire via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the middleweight division, Gerald Meerschaert versus Darren Winn. So this is a fight right here, I'm just going to say straight up off the bat, I feel like Meerschaert has all the tools to win this one right here. He's taller, he's longer, he destroyed Eric Spicely in Darren Winn's debut. He fought Eric Spicely to a competitive decision, and that several times he showed flaws. He's real short, doesn't really do well in that Muay Thai clinch, not the best head movement, kind of predictable flow. And even his last fight showed flaws. He could take people down, but struggle to show real control in these fights. But I'm going to lean to Darren Winn just off, really hope, this stuff that's not really even factored, really out there. Because I'm just leaning to the AKA. I'm just, kind of leaning into the hype, really, what I'm saying. And saying maybe the last fight he could have won or should have won or did enough and he learned from that fight, kind of BS stuff like that, I'm going to say as far as just this prediction. And also, the only thing I say is that Meerschaert, jiu-jitsu off his back hasn't shown to be the best. And his takedown offense hasn't shown to be best. Because when some people have good BJJ, they don't worry about getting taken down as much. They don't worry about getting back to their feet as much. But Meerschaert really hasn't did much off his back. His jiu-jitsu is best when he's on top. He might have a couple of attempts off his back, but I think he's going to struggle to get any real submissions off Darren Winn. I think Darren Winn's size is actually going to help him if he gets Meerschaert on his back and keeps him there. Because Darren Winn is so short and stubby, what you going to get him? It's going to be hard to get a triangle on that little man. He got no neck. He barely got any arms, barely got any limbs. What you going to latch on to? And he's strong and has I don't think, like I said, Meerschaert's going to be too comfortable on his back. I think going to feed his best attempt, really. Maybe threatening with some submissions off his back, getting back to his feet. And then, it's been the longer, rangier fighter and just tagging the shorter Winn and taking advantage of that huge height and reach discrepancy. But I doubt Meerschaert's going to do that. I don't see Meerschaert as the highest fight IQ fighter. He has a lot of skills, but fight IQ, definitely not the greatest. I'm not saying he's an idiot, but I'm not saying he's definitely not one of the better, like the higher fight IQ fighters, in my opinion. So I feel like he's going to be too comfortable going on his back, and Darren Winn is going to be able to grind out a relatively unimpressive decision over Meerschaert. So, but it's still probably competitive, but not really impressive. So in this fight, I have Darren Winn via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the middleweight division, Rodolfo Vieira versus Safarov. So Safarov, this is a real straight prediction. Safarov, really, one thing about him, not the best skill set, not the best striking, not the best this, not the best that, definitely not the best looking. But he will go out there and he will bang. But I don't think Rodolfo Vieira will even really try to entertain that. He might do it a little bit, but really I see him having no real issue getting this fight to the ground and just showing his world-class BJJ and submitting Safarov. So Safarov going to come out there swinging them bombs. Rodolfo Vieira going to level change or pressure and try to push him back a little bit. Either way, he's going to try to get him on the ground as quick as possible. And once it gets to the ground, I think he makes quick work and submits Safarov, and I think it happens in the first round. So in this fight, I got Rodolfo Vieira via first round submission. Now to our co-prelim headliner we have in the lightweight division, Mark Madsen versus Austin Hubbard. So this is another quick prediction right here. Austin Hubbard's a solid fighter and all, but what I really see from him, his best attribute is his wrestling, his ability to chain wrestle, his ability to grind. That's his best ability is wrestling. His striking is okay, but definitely not the highest level or the most notable. He has some good little tricks in there. Do I have to go into them too much? Not really. What I see this fight against is two solid grapplers going against each other, but one guy is clearly the better, more accoladed wrestler. You got a silver medalist, Greco-Roman wrestler in Mark Madsen going against a guy with, I don't think, no real notable wrestling accomplishments. So I see Mark Madsen just going out there and just being a better wrestler. I think Austin Hubbard could give him some work. Give him something to worry about early. But over time, I think Mark Madsen's strength, his wrestling, his accolades, and his experience and his skills is going to just smother whatever Hubbard has, and just turn into a very dominated performance. And I think Mark Madsen is able to get that TKO stoppage kind of in that mid portion of the third round. It's pretty much breaking him down over the fight with his wrestling and his pace and his strength and his skills of that. And just really shutting him down and breaking him down and finishing him off in that third. So in this fight, I have Mark Madsen via third round TKO. Now onto our bantamweight. I said now onto our bantamweight. But now onto our prelim headliner we have in the bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley versus Jose Alberto Quinonez. So O'Malley been out for a minute. I think it was injuries at first, then it was drug suspensions and stuff like that. But luckily he's back in the cage now, or hopefully we don't jinx it and he does make it back to the cage. But as far as I'm saying, as far as the prediction, he's in the cage now. And yeah, so he's back now versus Jose Alberto Quinonez. So Quinonez, I don't really see nothing all that special about Quinonez. What I see is, outside of being special, is I just see him as he's a pretty strong physical fighter. He has some good solid boxing. He has some good fundamentals, but that's about it. He gives some people some work. He can make you something. He's out there, and as far as lower tier competition, he can definitely destroy a lot of them. As far as higher tier competition or the upper echelon, he has the skill sets that he's well rounded enough that he can make anybody, give anybody some good work out there. Will he be the best? No, but he can definitely be out there and make you have to fight. And he definitely is there to upset you because he's clean and solid. And if you make any mistakes, he could definitely take advantage. And he could definitely stick around and, like I said, be there to give you some work. And he's not no walkover. But Sean O'Malley, I just feel like he's faster, he's sharper, more versatile, more tools, and more ways to win. And I don't think I'm messing the name, but I don't think Quinonez takedown defense or his grappling is that good. So I think O'Malley definitely sees it as an avenue. I think, really, I'm just saying, not even that avenue. If he wanted to, Sean O'Malley, I think he could take it down and submit him without much effort. He could do that. But I think Sean O'Malley's going to try to strike one, maybe mixing the wrestling here and there. But I really just think O'Malley's just going to pick him apart on the feet. It's not going to be a quick, just run through, but I think maybe the first round fill out. Then I think in the second round, after he finds his angles and his reads, he's going to put him out in that second round. So in this fight, I got Sean O'Malley via second round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the prelims of UFC 248, Adesanya versus Romero. And as always, thanks for watching.